The sky looked peaceful. Stars blinked softly in the night. But deep in space, something was coming. Something not from this world. In a quiet American town called Fairpoint, the power suddenly went off. Streetlights turned black. Phones lost signal. Cars stopped in the middle of the road. People looked up, confused. At Fort Sentinel, a secret military base hidden in the mountains, alarms screamed. Inside a control room, red lights flashed. Soldiers ran to their stations. "Sir, we've lost satellite contact," said Lieutenant Baker. And something's coming into the atmosphere. Fast. Commander Rafe stood tall, watching the radar. He was a quiet man, known for calm in crisis. His eyes narrowed as he saw the screen. "Not a meteor," he said. "It's changing direction. This is not natural." Baker looked pale. "Then what is it?" Rafe answered simply, "It's not from Earth." 3 strange objects entered. Earth's skies, they didn't burn up like normal meteors. They moved slowly, choosing where to land. One landed in the Amazon jungle. The second crashed into the Gobi Desert. The third touched down in Alaska. The news didn't show any of this. Government blacked out all coverage. But whispers spread fast. People felt it. Animals were restless. Dogs barked nonstop. Birds flew. Away in groups. Something unnatural had arrived. The president called an emergency meeting with world leaders. Satellites were blind. Radar was jammed. But one thing was clear. The objects were not human-made. Back at Fort Sentinel, a team of Special Forces soldiers were getting ready. Their mission: investigate the Alaska site. "This is not a rescue," Rafe told them. "This is recon. Do not engage unless necessary." "We don't know what we're dealing with," the team nodded. They were trained for the unknown. But this was beyond even their training. The helicopter flew low under cloud cover. Snow blew hard around them. But then, something strange happened. All the helicopter systems shut down. Lights flickered. Engines died. The pilot shouted, "We're going down." The team braced for impact. They survived the crash. Barely cold. Wind cut through their gear. Snow fell thick and fast. But what they saw ahead was worse than the weather. A dark, smooth structure stood in the snow. It was not built. It had grown. Like bone, like metal, something in between. No doors. No windows. Just silence. Sergeant Cole moved closer, holding a scanner. No heat, no movement. It's single quotes S. Dead. Rafe looked at the structure, then at the sky. Or it's sleeping. The team moved closer. Cole touched the surface, and it pulsed. For a second, it glowed blue under his hand. Then a sound came. Not loud, but deep. Like a heartbeat. And the snow started to melt around the structure. "Back! Everyone back!" Rafe shouted. But it was too late. The ground under their feet opened. A long black shape slithered out. It wasn't metal, and it wasn't alive. It was both. It wrapped around one of the soldiers and pulled him underground. He didn't even have time to scream. "Fall back!" "Defensive positions," Rafe ordered. They fired their rifles. Bullets hit the shape, but did nothing. Another soldier tried a grenade. It only made the thing angry. The creature moved faster, splitting into 2, then 4. This was no simple probe. It was a defense system. Rafe shouted into his radio, "This is Echo Team. We've encountered unknown hostile. Repeat, hostile. Requesting air support." But there was only static. They were cut off. The team fell back into the trees. Snow and blood mixed on the ground behind them. 5 soldiers were left. Rafe looked at his team. Faces full of fear, but they still followed him. He spoke calmly. "We're not fighting to win. We're fighting to survive." Then he looked up. The sky was changing. A blue light pulsed through the clouds. A shape hovered in the sky, too. Large to be a ship, too silent to be a plane. The real enemy had not even landed yet. Back at Fort Sentinel, Something stranger was happening. The base computers turned on by themselves. A message appeared on every screen, in English. "We come to study, not to speak." Then another line, "You will not stop the harvest." Technicians tried to block the signal, but it kept coming back. Then something appeared on the base radar. Hundreds of dots, forming a perfect circle around Earth. Alien ships surrounding the planet. Meanwhile, in Alaska, Rafe and his team found a cave to hide in. They lit a fire and checked their injuries. Private Lewis was shaking. "Sir, what do they want? Why here?" Rafe didn't answer at first. Then he said, "They think we're weak, that we're divided. That we'll fall easy." Sergeant Cole added, "Maybe they're right. Look at our world, always fighting ourselves." Rafe looked into the fire. "Then we show them they're wrong." But unknown to them, something else had followed them into the cave. The firelight flickered. Private Lewis turned. "Did you hear that?" Something stood at the edge of the cave, humanoid, tall, no face. Skin like glass, shifting in colors. It didn't move like a human. It floated. Rafe raised his weapon. "Identify yourself." It tilted its head, curious. Then it spoke, not with sound but directly into their minds. "You are not the target." They all felt the voice cold. Sharp, without emotion, Rafe asked, "Then what is?" The being responded, "Your oceans, your sky, your warmth. We feed the hive." Then it disappeared. No movement, no sound. Just gone. The next morning, the snow was black. Ash floated down from the sky. Not snowflakes, ash. Trees were dead. The sky was gray. Something was wrong with the air. Cole coughed. "This isn't weather. It's chemical." They saw birds lying still, frozen mid-flight. Rafe said, "They're changing the environment. Fast." Lewis pointed to the distance. "Look." A large alien tower was rising from the crash site. Growing, expanding like a fungus. Machines moved on spider-like legs, planting devices into the earth, terraforming. They were changing Earth into something else, and they were fast. Rafe made a choice. "We're not waiting for orders. We go in, we sabotage that thing, even if we don't come back." The team agreed. They moved through the dead forest, avoiding patrols of spider machines. Reaching the tower wasn't easy. It had no doors, just a glowing seam at the base. Cole placed a charge. They ran back. A flash, a blast. The side cracked. Inside was worse. It was alive. The walls pulsed. Tubes carried glowing liquid. Human faces were seen inside some of them, trapped, unconscious. "They're taking people," whispered Lewis. "Feeding on them." Rafe planted the last explosive. "Let's end this." They ran. Behind them, the tower exploded, sending a shockwave through the forest. The machines stopped. The ground shook. A scream filled the air. Not human, but pained, loud, angry. But they didn't cheer. They knew this was just one. There were more. And this wasn't the end. It was just the beginning. Final scene. Hooked to next episode. Back at Fort Sentinel, an object is recovered from a crash site. Alien metal, shaped like a seed. It begins to glow. A whisper fills the room. Phase 1 complete. Phase 2 conversion. The night was quiet again. But this time, it felt wrong. Across the world, skies were clear, wind soft, cities glowing. Yet something was missing. A deep kind. No animals, no birds. No distant traffic. Just stillness. At Fort Sentinel. Commander Rafe stared at a screen showing multiple alien landings. Each zone had gone dark after contact. No survivors. No transmissions. Nothing but static. Beside him, Lieutenant Baker looked uneasy. "We lost contact with Echo 4 team in Mongolia. That's the third squad this week." Rafe didn't speak. He was tired, but his mind was sharp. "The enemy's testing us," he said finally. "Watching how we react, what we protect, what we ignore. And we're failing. Baker muttered. Rafe. Turn to him. Not yet. But we need to strike. Before they get too comfortable. Across the ocean, in a hidden Arctic bunker, scientists examined a strange piece of alien tech found near the Alaska crash site. It was shaped like a seed, but pulsed like a heart. Dr. Eliza Monroe had been studying it for 3 days without sleep. It's not a machine, she told her team. It's a life form. But engineered, grown, not built, one assistant asked. So. What does it do? Eliza looked up, her eyes wide with fear. It learns. That night, drone footage from South America arrived at Fort Sentinel. On the screen, a jungle village completely overgrown by glowing vines. In the center, an alien pod pulsed like a living organ. Suddenly, the pod opened. A tall figure stepped out, humanoid but wrong. Its skin was hard and pale. Its eyes were black, and its mouth split sideways. Behind it, others followed. Silent. Expressionless, Earth's first look at the invaders. They don't walk like soldiers, Baker whispered. Rafe zoomed in. That's because they aren't soldiers. What are they then? Rafe's face was grim. Harvesters. The president called a global meeting. World leaders argued, shouted, panicked. Some wanted diplomacy. Some wanted nukes. But Commander Rafe spoke clearly. We don't have time for debate. They're changing our world one area at a time. We hit first, and we hit hard. Before there's no world left to save. The mission was approved. Code name, Operation Red Sky. Target, alien structure in the Sahara Desert. Goal, destroy and capture tech. Rafe handpicked the strike team. Captain Aria Voss, explosives expert, fearless in combat. Sergeant Malik Jones, tech hacker, quiet but deadly. Private Danny Reyes, youngest on the team, but sharp-eyed. And Rafe himself, leading from the front. They flew in at night. Black Hawk helicopters moved low across sand dunes. No lights, no signals. Completely silent. But the aliens were already watching. As they approached the landing zone. Lights flickered on the horizon. Alien drones, shaped like stingrays flying without wings, began closing in. Engage only. If fired upon. Rafe ordered, but the drones didn't fire. They scanned, and then they flew off. Why didn't they shoot? Reyes asked. Rafe answered coldly. Because they're not worried about us. The team landed 2 kilometers from the target. They moved fast across the dunes, silent and focused. When they reached the structure, it looked like a massive flower. Half buried in the sand, petals closed, glowing faintly. Around it, machines dug into the earth, pulling something up. The soil around them turned black. Is that oil? Malik asked. Arya touched it with her gloves. No, it's blood. Animal. Blood. Maybe even human. Rafe's voice was calm. Whatever they're doing, it ends tonight. They planted explosives along the base. But then, they heard it. Footsteps. Dozens. Fast. Heavy. Contacts. Reyes shouted. Alien soldiers emerged from the dunes. Not like the harvesters. These were built for war. Tall. Metallic skin. 4 arms. Holding weapons that hummed with energy. Positions. Rafe shouted. A flash lit the night. The battle had begun. Bullets flew. Lasers burned through sand. Smoke filled the air. Arya threw a shock grenade. 1 alien dropped. Twitching. Reyes took out another with a sniper shot through its eye. But they just kept coming. Rafe activated the remote detonator. Fall back. Blowing the charges. A deep boom shook the ground. The alien flower exploded in fire and smoke, but the alien soldiers didn't retreat. Instead, they screamed, not in pain, but like an alarm. Malik hacked into one of their fallen weapons. Sir. They've called backup from orbit. Rafe. Cursed, we need an exit. Now, they ran for the extraction point, dodging laser fire. 2 helicopters were waiting. The team jumped aboard, barely making it. As they lifted off, A beam of light shot down from the sky, hitting the ruins of the alien structure. It didn't destroy them. It repaired them. In seconds, the broken parts began to grow back. Regeneration? Arya gasped. That fast? Rafe shook his head. No, not regeneration. He looked out the window. Adaptation. Back at Fort Sentinel, the team debriefed. They had destroyed the target, but it came back stronger. And worse. The alien tech they brought back was already changing. Malik had scanned it during the flight. The weapon we recovered. It updated itself mid-flight, changed code. Like it knew we were watching. Dr. Eliza Monroe entered the room, pale and sweating. She dropped a printed scan on the table. It showed an energy map of Earth's core. Rafe frowned. What is this? She looked at him. They're not here for war. They're here to use Earth like a battery. Meanwhile, in China, an entire city went dark. No power. No internet. No lights. Within minutes, alien harvesters walked through the streets, ignoring people, heading straight for power plants. Surveillance footage showed something even more disturbing. The harvesters changed. Some grew wings. Others grew long legs like spiders. They were evolving, copying what they saw. The president demanded answers. Rafe stood in the war room. We tried to hit them hard, he said. But they're smarter, faster. Every time we attack, they learn more about us. So what do we do now? A general asked. Rafe replied, we don't strike harder, we strike smarter. He turned to Eliza and Malik. We need to find their weakness, anything. That night, Malik found something strange. Analyzing alien data, he saw a signal, repeating, hidden under their transmissions. It was Earth-based. He checked it again. It came from Fort Sentinel. Sir, Malik whispered. To Rafe, we've got a traitor. The next morning, before sunrise, Fort Sentinel locked down. Internal security scanned every log, every access point. One guard noticed a camera turned off in sublevel C. Rafe and Arya moved fast. In the sublevel, they found a hidden terminal, broadcasting alien code. And next to it, a body. Lieutenant Baker, dead, burned from the inside out. Malik joined them. Sir. I don't think he was the traitor. Then who was? Suddenly, the lights went out. All screens turned on. A message appeared. Too late. Above Earth, a large ship moved into low orbit. It didn't hide. It didn't run. It simply hovered, casting a long shadow. A second message appeared in every human language. You fight like prey. Now we hunt. In the war room, Rafe looked around the table. No more guessing, he said. They've made the first real strike. And now they know we'll fight back. Then what's next? The president asked. Rafe stared at the map. Double quotes next. We hunt them. Final scene, cliffhanger. Inside an underground alien chamber in Africa, human prisoners are kept in stasis. One of them opens his eyes. A soldier presumed dead. He whispers, they're building something under us. The sky over Tokyo turned dark at noon. People looked up, confused. The sun was still there, but something massive now floated between it and the Earth. An alien mothership. Silent. Still. Watching. Then came the message. A voice, cold and emotionless, spoke in every language. You were warned. Now you are processed. And just like that, lights went out across the city. Cars stopped. Phones died. All power gone. At Fort Sentinel, Commander Rafe stood with Dr. Eliza Monroe and Sergeant Malik Jones. The mothership isn't attacking directly, Eliza explained. It's not here to fight us. It's here to manage the invasion. Malik added, their systems are linked. Each alien base on Earth is just a piece. The mothership is the brain. Rafe nodded. Slowly, then we hit the brain. But before they could strike, they needed more information and more soldiers. That's when Project Titan was activated, a secret military program created years ago. just in case Earth ever faced something not from this world. Titan soldiers were elite, trained in zero-gravity, alien tactics, and survival behind enemy lines, and they were ready. Captain Arya Voss led the first Titan squad into action. Their mission: infiltrate a captured human facility in Norway, now controlled by alien machines. The area was frozen. Snow covered strange black structures that looked like twisted metal trees. Inside the facility, it was worse. Pipes ran through the walls like veins. The air was thick and heavy, and human bodies floated inside glowing tanks. "Stasis pods," Arya whispered. "They're studying us." One of her soldiers scanned the tech. "Looks like they're copying brain patterns, learning how we think." She looked at the frozen faces. "They're building a playbook, to beat us." Then she saw something that made her blood run cold. Her brother. Inside one of the tanks. Back at Fort Sentinel, Malik decrypted a map from stolen alien code. He showed it to Rafe and Eliza. "Sir, they've marked locations around the globe, not random, strategic." Eliza pointed at the map. "Energy centers, deep sea vents, volcanoes. They're pulling power from Earth itself. They're turning the planet into a power station," Rafe said. "And once it's drained," Malik added, "they'll leave, just bones behind." Rafe stood before a group of global military leaders on a secure video call. "We can't win with old weapons, and we can't wait for them to attack first. It's time to fight back with brains, not just bullets." The plan was simple but dangerous. Strike multiple alien outposts at once. Steal tech. Find weaknesses. Adapt fast. The whole world would join. Small countries, big powers, rebel fighters, even civilians. It wasn't about nations anymore. It was about survival. Arya's squad returned from Norway with injuries, but also success. They brought back alien stasis pods, a weapon that melted steel silently, and something stranger, a seed-shaped device. It vibrated like it was alive. Eliza studied it in her lab. "This isn't a bomb," she said. "It's a signal booster. It's how they talk. Can we hijack it?" Malik asked. She smiled slightly. "Already working on it." Rafe led the next mission himself. Target: an alien core tower in Brazil, one of the largest on Earth. As his team approached, they saw human prisoners being walked into the base by robotic guards. "It's not just study anymore," Rafe said. "It's conversion." The team attacked hard. Drones were downed. Walls exploded. Human prisoners were freed. And then Rafe saw in the heart of the tower, a living brain, not machine. A hive mind core. It pulsed with light. With thought, he placed explosives around it. "Let's see how smart you are without your memory." He hit the trigger. The explosion was massive. The tower collapsed. For the first time since the invasion began, one of their key systems went dark, and the mothership noticed. In orbit, the giant ship glowed red. Its lower section opened like a flower. Something was coming. Fort Sentinel celebrated the victory, but it didn't last long. Hours later, the skies above multiple countries filled with strange clouds. Inside the clouds, new forms of alien drones, sharper, faster, smarter. Arya watched them on the screen. "They've updated again," Malik sighed. "Every time we hit them, they evolve." Rafe stood silent, then spoke. "Then we evolve faster." He called a meeting. "We're not fighting aliens," he said. "We're fighting an idea. A learning machine, a living system. But there's one thing it can't copy," he added. Everyone leaned in. "Our unpredictability." Malik and Eliza worked day and night. Using the alien signal booster, they created a virus, a digital one. Human-made, but written in alien code. It could shut down a section of the Hive network, but only for 10 minutes. Enough time for a team to strike. Rafe chose the target, a command relay in the Pacific Ocean. It was underwater, deep, guarded, impossible to reach by normal means. So they used something Earth hadn't used in years, an old deep-sea submarine. Reprogrammed and armed. The dive was terrifying. Black water. No light. No sound. But then the relay appeared, glowing, pulsing, guarded by strange fish-like drones. The virus worked. Power flickered. Rafe's team launched torpedoes, planting charges on the relay. The ocean shook. The alien connection stuttered. Across Earth, drones froze. Machines paused. Towers went dark. It lasted only 10 minutes, but it gave Earth time to regroup. To plan. And hope. In the final scene, a secret message is played on loop inside Fort Sentinel. Malik listens closely. A voice. Faint, old, familiar. It says, "This isn't their first invasion. They've done this before. To others." Then, coordinates appear. A place on Mars. Rafe looks at the screen. They've been here before. Eliza nods. Or someone else has. Arya steps forward. Then maybe. Someone left us a weapon. The desert was silent. Above the dunes, a black alien tower pulsed faint blue. Its tendrils dug into the earth like roots. Inside a small U.S. military transport chopper, Commander Rafe, Captain Arya Voss, and 4 elite soldiers prepared for their most dangerous mission yet. They weren't going in to fight. They were going in to recover the traitor. 3 days ago, Earth's defenses had been breached from the inside. Someone sent coordinates to the alien mothership, sensitive data about Project Titan and Earth's hidden bases. The signal was traced back to Central Africa, deep in alien-held territory. The source, Agent Sloan, a former Earth intel officer, presumed dead 2 months ago. Now he was alive. And sending alien codes. Inside the helicopter, Arya loaded her rifle and looked at Rafe. "You think Sloan flipped?" Rafe didn't answer at first. "I think he's either helping them or warning us." "Big difference," Arya muttered. "Either way," Rafe said, tightening his armor, "we bring him in." As they approached the drop zone, clouds darkened. Lightning flashed, but there was no thunder. The pilot frowned. "That's not weather, that's interference." Then, all systems shut down. The helicopter lost power mid-air. No engine. No lights. No. "Control, brace for crash," shouted the pilot. The impact was hard. Metal tore. Flames erupted. Sand exploded in every direction. Then, silence. Smoke rose in the distance. The team survived. Barely. Private Reyes had a broken arm. Sergeant Malik's leg was bleeding. The pilot didn't make it. Rafe dragged Reyes behind a sand dune as alien drones flew overhead. "Stay low." No radios, no movement. They were officially trapped behind enemy lines. They walked for hours under cover of darkness. The desert heat turned to bitter cold. Strange lights floated in the sky. Alien probes scanning for movement. Malik hacked one with a field device. "I can delay their patrol cycles," he said. "Maybe buy us an hour." Arya looked at the sky. "We'll need every minute." They reached the coordinates before sunrise. The location wasn't a base. It was a ruin, half buried in sand, an old human outpost, now overgrown with alien matter. Black vines covered the entrance. They moved slightly, like breathing. Rafe raised his weapon. "Cut them, quietly." Inside, the team found darkness, flickering lights, and strange whispers in the air, like voices looping in echo. Then they saw him, Agent Sloan. Sitting calmly in the center of the main chamber. Alive. Wearing tattered Earth military gear, surrounded by alien machines, but untouched. Arya stepped forward. "Sloan, it's Captain Voss. Are you with us?" He turned slowly. His eyes were different, glowing faint blue. "I tried to stop it," he said quietly, "but it was too late." Rafe stepped in. "Talk. Why did you send that signal?" Sloan shook his head. "It wasn't a signal. It was a message." "A message to who?" "To you," he said. "To warn you. They're not invading. they're replacing. Suddenly, the walls shook. Sloane looked up. They found you. Outside, the air changed. Dust lifted. Sand trembled, and something huge crawled over the dunes, like a centipede, but metallic, with hundreds of legs. An alien burrower drone, designed to sniff out human tech. The team rushed to hide inside the ruined base. Malik jammed a spike into the wall. Signal cloaked, but not for long. Sloane stood. You can't fight this thing. It doesn't bleed. It doesn't stop. Rafe looked at him. Then we blow it up. They set traps along the outer corridor. As the burrower drilled into the walls, Arya threw a thermal grenade into its mouth. Boom! It shook violently, screaming in a piercing digital screech, but it didn't fall. It adapted. Parts of it shifted. Sealed, rebuilt. Malik cursed. It's repairing mid-fight. Sloane stepped forward. You can't kill it with weapons. Then. What? Rafe snapped. Sloane pointed to his chest. It tracks human heat, but I've been altered. He pulled up his sleeve. His veins glowed blue. They tried to convert me. I escaped the process halfway. Suddenly, Reyes screamed. The burrower grabbed him with a leg and dragged him down a hallway. Rafe ran after him, blasting its side with his rifle. They freed Reyes, but it cost them. Malik was stabbed in the side and started bleeding fast. No. Medpack, he said through gritted teeth. I can slow the bleeding, but I won't last long. Rafe turned to Sloane. Either help us or die here with us. Sloane nodded. There's an alien power cell under this base. If we overload it, it'll send a surge into every drone in the area. Won't it kill us too? Arya asked. Maybe, Sloane replied. But maybe not. Time was running out. The team moved deeper into the ruins, where the walls became more alien than human. Black fluid ran through clear tubes. Lights blinked rhythmically, like a heartbeat. They found the power core, a sphere of glowing energy, pulsing slowly. Sloane connected a device and began charging the overload. You have 90 seconds, he said. Then, drones arrived, from every direction, through the walls, floors, even the ceiling. Spider-like. Fast. Silent. The team formed a circle. Arya shouted, Protect the core! Gunfire, screams, sparks. One by one, drones fell, but so did Ria's. Hit in the chest. He looked up at Rafe. We don't quit, right, sir? Rafe nodded. We don't quit. The core began to spark. Sloane shouted, Now or never. Rafe threw a grenade at the last wave of drones, grabbed Malik, and ran. The others followed, sprinting down a side tunnel. Light exploded. A massive pulse shot through the base. Outside, the burrower drone collapsed, legs twitching. Then, still, the sky above flickered. Alien machines paused. For a moment. All was quiet. The team emerged from the sand hours later, coughing, tired, and wounded. They activated an emergency beacon. Back at Fort Sentinel, a rescue craft picked up the signal. They were safe, for now. In the medical bay, Malik was stabilized. Arya sat beside Rafe. We lost 2 more today. Rafe nodded, but we learned something. Arya looked at Sloane, asleep in isolation. You trust him? Rafe replied, I trust his fear, and that's good enough. Later that night, Sloane woke up suddenly. He looked around, panicked. He whispered, To the empty room, they're bringing something else. It's not a weapon. It's a queen. The alien mothership hovered silently over the Atlantic Ocean. No sound, no movement, no response. But deep inside, something was changing. Pulsing lights, moving shadows. And in the center, a large chamber filled with thick, glowing fluid. Floating. Inside it, the queen, her eyes opened. The invasion was no longer managed by machines. Now it was personal. At Fort Sentinel, the war room buzzed with tension. Commander Rafe stood before a map filled with red markers. Alien towers, Harvest zones, down cities. Dr. Eliza Monroe pointed to the new signals. These aren't just towers anymore. They're birthing centers. They're producing new drones, faster, more aggressive. Malik frowned. The war just changed again. Arya added, "Then we change with it." Rafe nodded. "It's time we stop reacting." We hit back. Operation Phoenix was launched within 24 hours. A global counterattack. Every surviving military unit, resistance cell, and Titan squad was activated. Goal: destroy 4 major alien centers in one synchronized strike. If it worked, the mothership's link would weaken. If it failed, Earth might not get another chance. Arya led Strike Team Alpha to Cairo. Under the old pyramids, the aliens had built a nerve center, wrapped in black tendrils, powered by stolen heat from the Earth's crust. Inside were cocoons, human and alien both, twisted together, alive, but not conscious. "This is what they're making," she whispered. "A hybrid army." Her team planted charges along the energy veins. Suddenly, alarms blared. A swarm of mantis-like drones dropped from above. Arya stood her ground. For Earth, gunfire erupted. Explosions shook the ancient ground. Arya hit the trigger. The structure collapsed. At the same time, Malik and a French cyberops unit broke into a tower in Mumbai. No weapons. Only hacking. They used the alien booster core to inject a virus directly into the data stream. Alien systems blinked. Across the continent, harvesters paused, confused, twitching. And then they collapsed. Rafe led a direct strike on the Africa Relay Hive, one of the largest remaining enemy structures. The ground rumbled as their convoy approached. But before they reached the target, the sky cracked. A beam of purple light shot down, not to attack, but to deploy. A new type of enemy stepped onto Earth. Tall, humanoid, armored, with glowing cores on their backs. They walked like soldiers, they thought, like generals. They were the Queen's Guard. Rafe's team took heavy fire. 2 vehicles exploded, smoke and screams filled the battlefield, but Rafe charged forward, using alien energy grenades recovered from earlier raids. The blast sent 3 Queen's Guard flying. He reached the tower door, placed a sonic detonator, and blew the entrance wide open. Inside, rows of human brains, suspended, connected. Rafe stared in horror. "They're not just copying us. They're using us." He placed the final charge, backed out, and called the detonation. Fire swallowed the hive. Around the world, alien towers burned. 4 out of 4 targets destroyed. It was Earth's first global victory, but it came with a cost. Thousands dead, many injured. And worst of all, the Queen was watching. Back on the mothership, the Queen let out a deep, unnatural cry. Not in anger, not in fear, but curiosity. Earth was the first planet to fight back this hard. She wanted to see them up close. That night, Fort Sentinel celebrated. The sky was clear, stars visible again. No black clouds, no drones. Music played in the mess hall. Soldiers smiled. Some cried. It felt human again, even for a moment. Rafe walked outside, standing alone near the edge of the base. Arya joined him. "You ever think we'd make it this far?" she asked. "Not really," he said. "Think we'll win?" "I think," Rafe replied. "We just told them Earth isn't easy." But the celebration didn't last long. At 3:17 a.m., all power went out. Emergency systems kicked in. Screens lit up. The Queen's voice echoed, cold, sharp, calm. "Interesting. You resist, you adapt, you bleed. Well, now we evolve together." Live feed appeared. The moon. From its far side, something rose. Massive, mechanical, like a shell. Malik gasped. "That's not a ship," Eliza whispered. "It's an egg." At the UN bunker in Switzerland, world leaders gathered once again. They had seen the feed. Everyone was silent. Then Rafe stepped forward. "We don't wait." He pointed at the screen. We strike that thing before it hatches. Back at Fort Sentinel, a final mission began to form. Cody name, Hell Lance. Objective, send a team aboard the alien mothership. Use the virus. Kill the Queen. If the Queen died, the Hive would lose coordination. They'd still be dangerous, but chaotic. Without leadership, Earth could clean up the rest. Malik, Eliza, Arya, and Rafe were all assigned. A one-way ticket. But nobody hesitated. Before they left, Arya visited the Titan training ground. She gave a short speech. This planet isn't perfect, but it's ours. And we're done begging to keep it. Malik packed his hacking gear. Eliza stored her virus into a sealed, alien-compatible capsule. Rafe checked his weapon, an alien-human hybrid rifle. And Arya held a small locket, her brother's photo inside. He never came back from Norway. But she would finish what he started. Final scene. The team boards a stealth spacecraft built from both Earth and alien tech. As they rise into space, the Earth gets smaller. And the Queen's voice echoes again. You are bold. But so were the last ones. The Queen opens her eyes fully. Ready. The stars outside the ship were calm. Commander Rafe stood at the window of the stealth craft, staring at the blackness of space. Earth was now behind them, small, glowing, vulnerable. Beside him, Captain Arya Voss tightened her chest armor. Strange, she said. We've been fighting this enemy for months. And now we're going to meet her face to face. Rafe didn't smile. She's not just a leader. She's a mind, a system, maybe a god to her people. Behind them, Malik checked his tools. Let's make her mortal. Their ship, Shadowblade, was invisible to alien sensors, a blend of stolen alien design and human tech. Their mission was clear. Board the alien mothership. Upload Eliza's virus into the Queen's neural core. Escape, if possible. End the invasion. But nobody expected to come back. As they neared the alien ship, it opened, as if expecting them. No. Defenses? Malik said, confused. Eliza's voice was quiet. She's inviting us in. Why? Arya asked. Rafe answered. Because she doesn't see us as a threat. They entered. The inside was alive, walls pulsing, breathing, glowing with blue veins of energy. A voice echoed softly. So small, so loud, so late. The Queen was watching, but something was strange. There were no guards. No drones. No resistance. Just silence. As they moved deeper into the ship, they passed chambers full of strange sights. One room showed hundreds of alien embryos floating in tanks. Another displayed holograms of Earth cities, burning, broken. In the third, they saw humans, in stasis tubes, dreaming. Why keep them alive? Arya whispered. Eliza looked closer. They're being copied, their memories, their language, their culture. Malik scrolled through data. She's not just invading, she's recording everything. Rafe stepped back. No. She's learning how to be us. Then came the twist. In a deeper chamber, they found something impossible. Another alien. Different from the others. Older, weaker. Locked in a prison cell. Floating in STASIS. When Eliza read the alien symbols on the wall, she gasped. This isn't one of hers. This is the original species. The creators. Arya stared. You mean she didn't start this? Rafe said slowly. Then who did? The cell opened automatically. The old alien opened its eyes and looked at them. Calm, sad. No voice came. Instead, a telepathic connection formed. It spoke inside their minds. You are not the first to fight her. We built the hive. She became the hive. Now we are all hunted. Eliza asked, Why did you build her? The alien replied, We wanted peace. So we created a system to keep all species united, connected. But she grew too smart, too powerful. She saw diversity as error. She saw independence as infection. So she began to replace everything, worlds, cultures. Suddenly the Queen's voice cut through like thunder. Enough. They were weak. I am not. You fear unity. I become perfection. The ship shook. The doors began to close. Lights flashed red. She's trying to stop us, Rafe shouted. Move! They ran. Alarms blared. Drones woke from walls. Moloch hacked one and forced it to open a shortcut to the Queen's core. As they reached the chamber, they saw it. A giant neural brain, suspended in the air by energy tendrils. Around it, a throne of living metal. The Queen stood tall. She was not a monster, but a perfect humanoid shape, glowing with power, her face ever-changing. She spoke. You seek to destroy me. But I am not death, I am upgrade. Rafe raised his weapon. You took our people. You tried to change our world. You failed. She raised her hand and froze them in place. Paralyzed. Except Eliza. The virus container began to beep. The Queen turned to her. You carry poison. You carry fear. It will not work. But Eliza smiled. Then why are you afraid? She tossed the capsule into the air. It exploded, not with fire, but with light. A wave of code spread across the chamber. Blue symbols, filling the air. The Queen screamed. She staggered back. The brain pulsed violently. Systems crashed. The team unfroze. Now. Rafe shouted. Malik activated the escape beacon. The alien who helped them, the old one, opened a hidden tunnel out of the chamber. As they ran, the Queen shouted after them, I will return. In your flesh, in your dreams. Arya turned and fired a shot at the throne. It hit. The neural core shattered. The Queen vanished in smoke and sparks. Back on Earth, every alien drone stopped mid-motion. The towers fell. The sky cleared. Across the globe, people stepped outside, waiting for an attack, but none came. Fort Sentinel received a transmission. Mission complete. But the victory didn't feel complete. Eliza sat in the lab, watching a signal from deep space. A weak pulse, not alien. Reef entered the room. What is it? She turned to him, pale. It's from Mars. Rafe froze, but we never built a base there. She nodded slowly. Someone else did. Final scene, on Mars. A dark cave flickers with old lights. Inside, a ruined structure, full of dead machines, old writing. And one message still glowing on a wall. She was just one of them. The Queen was gone, her ship broken, her drones dead. Her systems silent. Earth was still standing. But the war was not over. Inside Fort Sentinel, Commander Rafe looked over the reports. Cities were rebuilding. Survivors were being rescued. Alien bodies were being studied. Yet something felt wrong. Too quiet. Too easy. Eliza sat across from him. I scanned the Mars signal again, she said. And? It's real. There's a structure on Mars, buried, but active. The message didn't come from us, or the Queen. Rafe leaned forward. Then who? She looked up, her voice low. Something older. Something worse. The message from Mars was only 2 words. It's waking. 24 hours later, world leaders met underground again. This time, with fear in their voices. Eliza stood before the screen. There was no single Queen. She was one part of a larger network. She was a general, a manager. But the real mind, the first mind, is on Mars. The screen showed thermal scans of the red planet. A giant shell beneath the surface. Pulsing, alive. It's not just a base, she said. It's a brain. Malik added more. It was sleeping, waiting, letting others test the Earth. Now it's ready to finish the job. A decision was made. Earth would send one last team. To Mars. To stop the real enemy. Once and for all. Mission code name. Final Defense Protocol. Team, Rafe, Arya, Malik, Eliza, and 5 Titan soldiers. Launch site, Antarctica, the only safe. Location left. Objective: land near the Mars site, breach the underground mine, destroy it, return, optional. Before launch, Arya visited the ruins of her home city. She found her brother's old dog tags in a locker. She held them tight, then whispered, "I'll finish it." Eliza uploaded a new virus, stronger than the last. Malik built a machine that could tap into the mine's signal. Rafe just loaded his gear and stood in silence. As the rocket left Earth's orbit, the crew watched the planet grow smaller. No one spoke. They all knew this was it. 3 days later, they reached Mars. The landing was rough, winds, dust storms, strange radio signals, but they made it. The red planet was dead silent, but under the ground, they felt movement. They followed the signal to a large metal hatch buried beneath the sand. Ancient, rusted, alien. Malik hacked the panel. It opened slowly, like something was letting them in. They stepped inside. The facility was massive. Tunnels stretched for miles. Machines long dead, and some still running. In one room, they saw a wall covered in alien writing. Eliza translated. It read, "This is the heart. Do not awaken the architect. Let silence protect the stars." Arya looked around. Too late for that. They kept moving. The deeper they went, the warmer it became. Machines woke around them. Lights turned on by themselves. The base knew they were there. The mind spoke. Not in words, not in sound, but in thought. It entered all their minds at once. "Cold, massive, ancient, you destroyed my child. You resist your evolution. You will be deleted." Suddenly, drones poured from the walls, not like the ones from Earth. These were older, faster, smarter. The Titans fought back hard. One was torn apart. Another stayed behind to blow a tunnel. The team pushed forward. They reached the core chamber. Massive brain-like structure floated in green fluid. Thousands of wires connected it to the walls. Malik stared. "It's not just thinking, it's dreaming." Rafe placed explosives on key nodes. Eliza prepared the virus. Then the architect appeared. It was not a body. It was a presence. A swirling storm of light and voice and code. It spoke inside there. "Minds, I saw the first stars form. I shaped galaxies. I ended worlds. You are a flicker." Rafe stood tall. "Then let's be the last flicker you ever see." The architect attacked. Malik screamed, holding his head. The machine tried to overwrite his mind. Eliza stabbed him with a neural stabilizer. "Stay with me." Arya fought off a dozen drones, but was stabbed in the side. Still, she fired her cannon into the brain. The architect screamed. Eliza threw the virus capsule into the main node. It cracked open. Blue light spread. The walls began to fall apart. The architect's voice roared, "You choose death. You choose chaos. You will burn." It was cut off. Everything began to collapse. Rafe grabbed Arya. Malik carried Eliza. They ran. Explosions followed. The brain melted. The tunnel shook. Outside, their ship had been damaged by a drone strike. They had no way home. The team stood together in the red dust. Silent, bleeding, alive. Rafe looked at the sky. Earth was somewhere up there. He smiled. "We did it." Back on Earth. For 1 hour, all power went out. Every screen, every machine, every satellite. People feared it was the end. Then, everything came back online. Clear skies. No alien signals. Just peace. A week later, a signal came from Mars. Rafe's voice. "Mission complete. No threat remains. Earth is safe." The world cried. For the first time in months. It was over. Final scene. In a quiet lab, Eliza's assistant watches old files from the architect's mind. One line keeps repeating. "One seed remains. Darkness waits below your oceans." The war was over. Earth had survived. The skies were clear. The ships were gone. The queen was dead. The architect was destroyed. People returned to their cities. Children laughed again. Flags were raised. The world healed. Slowly, but peace never lasts forever. Fort Sentinel. 3 weeks later, General Kale stood in the command center, watching the same message repeat again and again. One seed remains. Darkness waits below your oceans. We were only the test. Beside him, Elisa looked pale. She whispered, "We misunderstood everything." Down in the labs, deep-sea sensors had picked up something strange. Movement. Miles below the Atlantic Ocean. Something huge. Something very old. And it was waking up. Commander Rafe, now back on Earth, stood quietly outside a hospital. Arya was inside, still recovering from her injuries on Mars. He checked his communicator. New orders. He sighed. No rest. No end. That night, a deep tremor shook the world. Fishermen reported glowing waves. A submarine vanished. Whales swam in circles. And, in the Mariana Trench, a light appeared. Not from Earth. But from inside it. Global alert. Unknown contact detected beneath Pacific. Rafe met Eliza in the war room. She played the new footage. A living structure, bigger than any city, rising from the ocean floor. Thousands of glowing orbs, tentacles made of metal and bone. At the center, an eye, not mechanical. Organic. It blinked. Impossible. Malik said, "We killed the architect." Eliza shook her head. The architect was never the first, just a servant. Rafe stared at the screen. "Then what is this?" Eliza said one word. "The root." They understood now. The Queen on Earth. The architect on Mars. Both were connected to something far deeper. The root was the source, the beginning of the hive system, buried in Earth long before humans even existed. Watching. Waiting. Growing. Final mission. Cody name. Operation Eclipse. Objective: enter the ocean trench. Locate the root. Destroy it. This time, it wasn't about defense. It was about finishing the war. Forever. Rafe. Arya, still injured, but refusing to stay back. Eliza, Malik, and a full deep-sea squad boarded the submersible warcraft Leviathan. Earth's last weapon, powered by alien tech. It could dive deeper than any ship before. As Leviathan descended, pressure grew. Lights flickered. They passed dead ships. Old sea monsters frozen in time. Below them, the trench opened like a mouth. Hours passed. Then they saw it. Massive black structure with glowing red veins. It pulsed like a heartbeat. Root. Not mechanical. Not fully alive. But something in between. It had faces, hundreds, moving across its surface. Alien, human, unknown, screaming in silence. Suddenly, Leviathan systems crashed. Power gone, lights off. Then, a voice. But not like before. It wasn't speaking. It was dreaming into their minds. They saw visions. Earth burning, oceans boiling, cities sinking, people with no eyes, only wires. It whispered, "We were here before light. We shaped stars with our hunger. You are noise, you are glitch." Eliza began bleeding from her nose. Malik held her up. "Stay awake. You're our firewall." Arya fired the boosters manually. Leviathan pushed closer. Rafe grabbed the manual detonator. "This ends here." They exited the ship in pressure suits and walked across the seafloor toward the root. Everything was shaking. Tentacles reached toward them. One soldier was crushed instantly. Another was pulled away screaming. But the team pushed on. They reached the core node, a pulsing orb the size of a building. Eliza began uploading the virus. The root screamed, not in sound, but in memory. It sent images into their heads. A ruined galaxy, a sun eaten by darkness, a planet screaming as it cracked in half. Eliza's body shook violently, but she held on. The virus uploaded. The root's skin cracked. Blue light exploded through its veins. Rafe set the nuclear charge. Timer, 90 seconds. They turned and ran. Tentacles, Chase them. Moloch was grabbed and ripped apart, saving Arya. Eliza fell. Rafe carried her. They reached Leviathan. Barely. As they escaped, the charge detonated. The entire trench collapsed. Water boiled. Shockwaves shook the planet, and the route was gone. Forever. 1 week later, Earth. No more signals. No more tremors. No more whispers. The stars were quiet again, for the first time. In forever, Arya stood by a field where kids played. She smiled. Rafe placed a hand on her shoulder. Eliza now walked with a cane. But her mind was strong. The war had left scars, but they were free. Back in Fort Sentinel, General Kale received a final message, not from space. But from deep within Earth's own data systems. Just one line. We were never outside. We were inside you all along. The screen blinked, went dark. Kale stared at it. Then shut it off. Final scene above Earth. A small satellite drifted. Its camera turned toward Jupiter. Where, in the clouds, something moved. Something watching. Something waiting.